Hey, welcome to another video. So today we're going to be going into Sir Duncan the Tall in his early life. But before I begin, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description, and consider becoming a join member or sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. Otherwise, let's jump straight into it. Duncan the Tall was a knight during the reign of King Daeron II, Aerys I, Maekar I, and Aegon V Targaryen. Raised as Dunk in Fleabottom, he became the squire of a hedge knight, Sir Arlen of Pennytree. Duncan then traveled the Seven Kingdoms as a hedge knight himself, with the young Prince Aegon called Egg as his squire. The early exploits of Duncan Egg are chronicled in A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, the new TV show coming out soon. Duncan's personal arms were a green shooting star above an elm tree proper on Sunset, but he also briefly used while competing as a mystery knight in a tournament, the sigil of an unknown knight, a hanged man swinging grim and gray beneath the gallows tree. Duncan was an inch shy of 7 feet tall. He had thick shaggy hair which sun-streaked in the summer. After the events of Standfast in 211 AC, he had a dagger scar in his cheek. Dunk was strong and quick, and was taught jousting and swordplay. He was better with a sword than with a lance, and even better with an axe or a mace. Duncan had a humble personality, and frequently thought of himself as thick-headed, recalling how Sir Arlen had often said Dunk the Lunk, thick as a castle wall, and referred to him as slow and archerous. Duncan's earliest memories were of living as a street urchin in Fleabottom slums of King's Landing. His closest friends went by the names of Ferret, Raffe, and Pudding. By his own admission, they were little monsters, with Duncan at the time still known as Dunk, the worst of all. Sometimes they would sell, or even dump pieces of meat of dubious origin to the local pot shops that made the balls of brown. Dunk was an orphan, who never knew either of his parents. It may be that he was a bastard. He believed his father might have been a criminal, and once hoped to someday go to the north and eventually the Wall, where he could perhaps meet the tall old man who looked like him. Sir Arlen of Pennytree, a hedge knight, took Dunk as his new squire 3 or 4 years after the death of his previous squire, Roger of Pennytree, during the final battle of the First Blackfire Rebellion in 196 AC. He found the young Dunk aged 5 or 6 in King's Landing chasing a pig and took him on. Arlen raised Dunk, and together they traveled all over Westeros except the north. Though they never visited Pennytree, where Arlen was from, they served Lord Leo Tyrell at Highgarden during one of the first few years that Dunk served Arlen. Visiting King's Landing in 205 AC, served Lord Florent for half a year, and joined Lord Dondarrion in the hunt for the Vulture King, both in 206 AC, and visited Lannisport in 208 AC, among other places. As well, Duncan accompanied Arlen when he was one of several knights hired by a Dornish merchant, who wanted to travel from Lannisport to the Prince's Pass in Dorne. Dunk learned sword fighting from Sir Arlen, though he still recalls his fighting experience from Fleabottom as well. Ever since the first time that Arlen had let Duncan hold a sword, Duncan had dreamt of becoming a knight of the Kingsguard. Dunk was not exactly sure how old he was because he grew up as an abandoned orphan in the streets of King's Landing, and his usually large height from a young age made it difficult to guess. By 209 AC, he loosely thought he must be about 16 or 17 years old, which would place his birth somewhere between 191 to 193 AC. So what did you guys think of the early life of Sir Duncan the Tall? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description, and consider becoming a join member or sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.